you do? You got to leave early? Dang. All right, good morning. Good morning, good morning.
Carson hasn't done 11 on 11 the last 2 days. Surprising I'm interested into why is that? If you want to give me a time frame, that'd be great.
There is no time frame. Listen, I'm very encouraged, obviously, where he's at, and what I saw last week is enough to ease my mind. I don't need to see him in 11 on 11 drills right now. He's progressing extremely well. I don't want to subject him to any kind of a setback or anything like that. I want to keep him progressive and moving forward, and those couple of days that we had with him were very exciting, very encouraging for me.
Does that mean that you're not going to be putting him in 11 on 11s moving forward for the rest of the camp?
Say that.
So what is the plan?
I didn't say that either. That's our plan. The plan has been a collaborative effort between the player, between myself, our medical staff. It's always going to be that way. I've been on record even this summer saying I'm going to trust my medical team. Dr. Dotson, Jerome, the guys that have, Dr. Bradley, the guys that are handling this, Carson, and when the time comes, we'll put them back out there.
So just to clarify, like what we've seen the last 3 practices, I mean that's all according to the plan.
Part of the plan.
So why is the plan to have him practice 3 days with full participation and scale him back the next 3 days? Why is that the plan?
That's the plan.
The team didn't maybe seem as sharp as it normally is. First of all, is that a fair assessment? And if it is,
fair assessment. We come off a physical day the day before. I took, if you notice, the pads. Well, the pads were on, shoulder pads were on, but normally there's a little bit of a I want to say a letdown a little bit, with this type of practice, but we're gonna ramp it up again tomorrow. We got another live session tomorrow with our short yardage and goal line, and but today was red zone, so we kept the running down just a little bit, and want to continue to maintain the mental focus. Obviously, they're working extremely hard. The effort is there, and we're throwing a lot at these guys, veterans and young players. So it's just part of camp, and we just got to work through and fight through some of these days.
What you've seen from you as a former quarterback, what's it like now to have 2 tight ends with great length in the red zone? Dallas looked like he showed up today.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be exciting, I think, and I'm encouraged. Obviously, where Dallas is and his progress, he's still learning the intricacies, the details of route running, understanding coverage and leverage. But I think that as we scale back, when we get into a game plan and we're game plan specific, when he can really detail, I think it's going to be an exciting matchup with he and Ertz out on the field, and we'll just continue to work. I mean, it was really our first time, this training camp to work the red zone. We did a lot of it in the spring, but something now we got it on tape. We can go back and make corrections.
How Matt Pryor has played thus far, the rookie guard.
Yeah, I've been, again, he's another one of our young players. I really like where he's at. He, obviously he's learning. He's a big guy. Obviously, playing the guard spot, I mean, he's hard to throw over. But he's learning every day. He's getting better. Encouraged. I'm just these games now in a week are really going to be important for guys like that.
Doug, you said you liked what you were seeing from Carson last week. What was it in particular that you liked from what he was doing on the field?
Well, just some of the movement skills, from being a quarterback, just being able to move in a pocket and escapability, things like that. Even though he was limited, he had some opportunities. So those are things that all part of the plan, and encouraged by what we saw, and now we'll just focus on getting him ready down the road.
It was Saturday's practice when there were players around his feet, and since then he hasn't done an 11 on 11. Are those 2 events connected?
No, because there was no contact involved. It was just Carson playing quarterback and just making a quarterback move. Had nothing to do with, pulling back on him. We just wanted to see him. I wanted to see him a couple days and see where he was at physically, and came away very positive, very encouraged, and now we can move forward.
Doug, in your 3 years, is this the... Are we done with that one?
Yes, I got you.
Okay, thank you. Doug, in your 3 years, is this the deepest you've ever been talent-wise in a wide receiver?
The deepest? I think so. Obviously we got to get Alshon healthy and get him on the field. And we're missing Bryce Treggs right now. We'd love to have him out there working. But I think on paper, Yeah, I do believe we've got, some of our young guys are really stepping up and getting a lot of reps out here and encouraged by that. But I think in my 3 years that this is by far the deepest at that position we've been.
Following up on Jeff's question about Matt Pryor, he looks like a tackler. What makes him a guard? What skill set makes him a guard and not a tackler?
Well, I mean, right now I think it's just his athleticism, the fact that he can, the way we double team blocks, he's big, he's, like a Brandon Brooks. I mean, he's huge, he's massive, and these double teams that Stout puts him through suits him, right there. And obviously, could he transition out? He could transition out. Taylor Hart's getting a lot of reps there, obviously beside him, and you got Big V on the other side, and Jordan on the other side. So right now, just kind of keeping those guys in their one position. They're young guys. Don't want to tax them too much by moving them around because there's a lot of things that are still, upstairs mentally that we're trying to sort out. But he's athletic, can pull, and physical enough to work those double teams.
Let's understand overall though, for the first big camp, what do you like, don't like,
Well, I tell you this. One thing I do like is I like the attitude of the football team. I like the way they came into camp. They've attacked every single day. I don't feel like this team is just lingering in any way. They're embracing the training camp. They know what they've done and they've accomplished, but at the same time, I think they're hungry for more, and that's exciting. Every day they come out here with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, and want to get better and want to improve, and that's what I've been seeing, as a team this first week and a half.
Last year with Jay Ajayi, were you comfortable using him in all your different run schemes and plays, or did you kind of shrink it a little bit? And what have you seen from him this summer?
Well, we had, obviously he came later to us, and we had LeGarrette and Corey and Wendell at the time, we're working in there and just wanted to get an idea of what Jay could do, and now we've had a full off season with him and what we're seeing in camp, and he's the type of guy that you can keep in there, all 3 downs if you wanted to, but it's something too that he's really been working on his route running from the backfield. He's working on his hands. He's catching the ball extremely well. He's smart. He sees the hole. I mean, it's the guy that as he gets a little more comfortable with what we do, now we're giving him everything. Where last year it was a little bit limited on packages and things like that. We're giving him everything, and he's really embraced it and done a nice job.
Does it help a guy like Josh Sweat to have veteran defensive guys on the line and helping him along and stuff? Is that a huge benefit to him? Do you think?
Yeah, you see the veteran guys. You see Chris Long and Michael Bennett and even Fletcher and BG when he's talking. You see him talking to our young players, Josh and Joe Osman and the guys on defense and just coaching them up. And for me as a head coach, that's encouraging. I love seeing that. I love seeing the veteran player take the young player under his wing and sort of mentor him. And I think that's important as we go because you never know when, obviously, you're going to need one of those young players to step up like we did last year. And having a veteran player around has been very beneficial, and obviously in his case.
A couple more, please. Matt Jones.
On Matt Jones? Yeah, Matt just he's got a lower body from yesterday in the live period. It's nothing serious. Would expect him back. Obviously he does all the walkthroughs and would expect him back tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll see where he's at, but he's close. And then, Shelton right now he's in the protocol for a head injury, and we just got to go day by day with him.
Getting back to Dallas Goedert. So not Carson, Dallas Goedert here. He's a different player than Trey Burton. Is the offense adjusted to what he does, or does he just take kind of what Trey's role was?
I think we have to adjust to what Dallas can do. Trey's a very good runner. He's a smooth runner. Dallas is a bigger, physical guy. He's a little more of an inline tight end, but he's also very good in space. So we got to take his strengths and a lot what Trey did for us. Dallas can obviously do. But we got to make sure that Dallas is comfortable in his role, and he did some really nice things today.
kind of real polished for a rookie. Dallas does.
Dallas?
I mean, just secures the ball well. Is that unusual to see in a young rookie starting out?
A little bit, but you know what? In Dallas's case, he's a smart guy. Obviously, he understands what we're doing. Justin Coach Peel has done a great job getting him prepared, and obviously he asks a lot of great questions and good questions. He's talking to Zach all the time. And listen, Richard Rodgers, Josh Perkins, these are two guys that have been in the league now, and it's really a good room from that standpoint. But yeah, he's had a lot of production in college, and he's played a lot of football obviously there, and it's carrying over out here. Okay, thanks guys.
Carson, this is supposedly all part of the plan to scale back a little bit. Any desire to kind of push it, or are you just going to stick with the plan to be happy as you can?
Yeah, I mean, obviously as a competitor, you want to be out there. I mean, obviously to get my feet wet, get out there, get running around, it was fun. It felt great, but yeah, just gotta listen to what the doctors, coaches are saying, and just trust that plan.
How'd you feel when you did 11 on 11 stuff last week?
You know, obviously physically, I thought it felt good. You know, obviously plays and schemes and everything, they weren't all perfect. We got work to do there. That's part of camp, but from a physical health standpoint, I felt great.
Hard to get where you want to be without doing all the 11 on 11s?
I don't think so. You know, I felt good when I did do it. I want to be out there. I want to do it. But again, I got to just trust their plan with it. And that's really kind of the bottom line.
Do you know going into practice, like what team reps you're going to do? Do you have an idea of that, or is that decided?
Each day, going in.
Did you guys adjust the plan at all, like, or is it pretty much? Do you guys ever like adjust the plan? Yeah.
I mean, I think ever since even the injury, you know, we've been saying it's a fluid process. You know, it's constantly a fluid process, and some days you're feeling better than other days. So could there be some change in plan? For sure. But you know, this is part of the plan right now, so we're sticking to it.
You did so much Saturday. It seemed like we all thought you were ready to start the season just about. Was there a reassessment after that, or how did that? You haven't really done 11 on 11 since then.
Coaches just want to stay, coaches and trainers and everybody just want to stay in a more controlled environment right now with where we're at and everything. So that's what we're doing.
Saturday's practice, you had bodies around your feet. Was that a concern for you?
Not for me. I felt good.
Was it a concern for the coaches?
I'm not really sure exactly what the concern was. I don't know if there was a concern. Again, it was just kind of part of the plan. Again, haven't been cleared for contact, so I know that's kind of part of the reason. Just want to keep me out of some of those. Want to stay in more controlled environments right now going forward.
Carson, you mentioned every day being a little bit different. That's natural with rehab. How much is that factored in? Just how you wake up in the morning, how it's feeling that.
I mean, a lot of it is based on how I feel, how I respond. You know, throughout the whole off season, you work 4 or 5 days a week, and then you have a couple days off. With camp, you don't quite get the same break. You don't quite. So that's why you'll see every now and then guys take days off. You know, I've felt great. I haven't missed a day yet. So that's just part of the plan. And every day you wake up, like you said, you're going to have to evaluate and maybe scale back or do some more. That's just part of it.
How much say do you have in the play? Like, do they get a gauge of how you feel? You let them know how you feel, and then they go from there and decide what's going to happen?
It's a collaboration for sure, you know, between coaches, trainers, docs, myself, strength coaches, really everybody. It's a collaborative plan.
Carson, Doug had talked about the benefits of having sort of the GPS trackers where you can see where you were last year and how you're progressing along. Is that something that you're following along with? What benefits?
A little bit. It's hard to say that those are always the end-all be-all and the tell, but you can definitely kind of keep track of your workload a little bit with these fancy trackers in our shoulder pads here.
Overall, I mean, would you say you're encouraged by everything, by where you are right now?
Yeah, I mean, I feel good. You know, it's from X's and O's, we got work to do. You know, we got new faces, new bodies. You know, we're red zone today. We're installing new plays. You know, not necessarily scheming our defense. So from an X's and O's place, you know, we got work to do. That's kind of part of camp. But I feel good and encouraged where I'm at physically.
And so tomorrow is 5 weeks out from the season opener. Has your level of optimism about playing changed at all based on the past week?
It's pretty much stayed the same. You know, all the way, all throughout. You know, I'm sticking to my goal. Again, you can't say 100% certainty what it's going to be, but I'm sticking to my goal. The hope is to be week 1, but if not, you know, it's a fluid process, and we'll see as we get going here.
Carson, is there a swelling that you're working through?
So far, it's been good.
Carson, there's a difference between can you play and should you play. Can, we see, it looks like you're running around fine, but should, if Doug says for the long-term future of the franchise, it's not our best thought, how will that sit with you?
And it's a collaborative thing between Doug, between myself, all the other coaches, really everyone upstairs in the organization, and then the docs. You know, it's I might feel one way, but you know, science says one thing, and textbooks might say another. So it's a constant collaboration and communication throughout. And as you guys all know, as a competitor, I want to be out there. You know, I want to be out there today. I want to be out there week 1. You know, wanted to be out there last year, but you know, there's certain limitations and certain things that you just can't do, and I got to trust what they say.
past few days you found Goddard quite a bit. Is that because you're looking to the tight end, or is there something specific about him?
I mean, it's a combination of the play and him just progressing along. He looks good out here. I mean, he catches almost everything and finds a way to pull things in. He's still got work to do like a lot of these guys, but I like how he's progressed and really mentally as well, just picking up on everything and learning the ins and outs of route running and everything. So he looks good.
When you see Foles out here doing the things he does at 35 years old and coming off an injury, what's your reaction?
It's remarkable. I mean, it's remarkable, but at the same time, it doesn't surprise any of us. I mean, we know Darren. We've seen him year in and year out, and obviously a setback last year, but he looks like himself again. You guys see it. We love that guy, and we know he's one of the hardest workers on this team and really in the league. And he's done it year in and year out. So we all kind of sit in awe, but at the end of the day, we're like, it's Darren. What do you expect?
Back to Goddard, those two tight end sets in the red zone specifically with him and Ertz, why can those be so dangerous or so tough to defend?
I mean, with him, with Ertz, like you said, even Richard, has shown some good things, and really all those tight ends have really looked good. I think they're just tough to defend because they're big bodies. They're big bodies. They know how to use their bodies well, and you saw us use Ertz and really Alshon last year, and just having big targets that really just have great hands and know how to use their bodies in the red zone. I think can just be a pain in the butt for defenses.
You answered questions about your status for weeks now, maybe even months, and you will probably do so for the remaining 5 weeks. Yeah, months for the remaining 5 weeks before week 1. How distracting or annoying is it?
I mean, it's part of the process. There's always something to talk about, and we're getting close to the game, getting close to the regular season, and it's just part of it. So I never let any of this stuff distract me from my goal, from physically my goal, and this team.
You mentioned Foles earlier. How much of a bond did you create with him and with Jason Peters and the guys who were out, and how has that helped you over this offseason?
You said with Sproles, with JP, Hicks, Maragos, a handful of us, unfortunately, it's kind of been documented a little bit, but being in that training room at the end of last year even, going through the playoffs, having to watch Super Bowl from the sideline, kind of knowing what each guy was going through, we definitely created a bond. We already had one as teammates and brothers, but just grew deeper, and now we're kind of all extra motivated going into this year. And it was unfortunate to have to go through with those guys, but it was great to have that camaraderie in there.
You mentioned back in the spring that you had never been through an injury that required this long and this much patience and so forth. And then you were able to get out there and do everything, and now you've been kind of pulled back. How hard is that to watch sessions that you were doing a few days ago?
It's tough. It's been tough ever since I got hurt to have to watch practice, to not be out there. Things sometimes are slow or maybe not going so well, and you think, I want to get out there and kind of boost the morale or change some things, but it's just part of it. It's part of it, and that's just the competitive nature in me, and I just got to trust it, and it'll be here before we know it.
In those first 3 sessions where you saw the mobility some rolling out, as you do that, are you thinking about the knee when you do it, and do you still want that to be a big part of your game?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been thinking about the knee when I'm out here at all. I think the mental side of everything, I feel great. I feel great. Everyone always talks about the mental side and just getting over that mental block and those hurdles, and I felt like I've gone through that and progressed through that now. Now it's just really just getting cleared and just sticking with the plan.
And you want to do that this year? You want to keep rolling out?
Sure, for sure. I mean, the mobility part, again, always finding ways to protect myself. We talked about it a ton. Knowing when to get down, when to protect myself, when to extend plays, when to just say die, throw the white flag on plays. But without a doubt, the mobility part of it, extending plays, throwing on the run, all that stuff, I hope to be doing that my whole career.
So when you were able to do that on Saturday, was that kind of a big test in your mind, or did you kind of already know that you would be able to do it?
I wouldn't say it was a test. I've been doing that stuff in the summer. That we don't just go on out there and hope things go well. We've been rehabbing all summer long, doing different things to get me ready for that. So that when I went out there, I felt comfortable, both mentally and physically.
Carson, you talked about that extra motivation from being with those injured guys. Do you think that makes this team uniquely qualified to repeat a Super Bowl champions? There hasn't been a repeat team in a long time.
Well, again, kind of we've talked about it quite a bit, but that whole getting complacent type mentality that some people want to think about, it really just comes down to leadership. The leadership has done an amazing job ever since OTAs, and then like you said, those extra couple guys that we have a little extra motivation to get back there. But just this group of guys, I don't think complacency will ever be an issue, and I think we have a chance to do something special, but we got a long way to go yet.
Thanks, Carson.
Thanks, guys.
Nick, a week into this, what do you see with this camp and like, don't like, liberal progression team?
I think if you watch camp, the thing I love is every single play, every single thing we do, we're competing with one another. It hasn't always been pretty on either side of the ball, but you can tell that guys are playing hard, we're playing aggressive, we're playing smart, we're trying to protect each other. But I feel like, every day I've stepped off the practice field, I feel like we've gotten better. I feel like we've learned more about each other, we've learned more schematically, and I've always said, like, the more reps you get, the better. And I feel like we haven't wasted any reps. I feel like we're learning good or bad outcome of a play, like we're learning from that play, and that's a beautiful thing. So I feel really good at this point in camp.
Nick, a lot of red zone work today. Looked like Dallas Goedert stood out. What's it like to have two tight ends that are that lengthy with that catching radius, especially in the red zone?
Yeah, I mean, Dallas is really coming along as a rookie. He's got a great tight end to learn from in Zach Ertz. It's a really talented tight end room. We got some big guys who can really use their body. Rodgers is another guy who can do those things as well. So as a quarterback, when you have tight ends that are big and physical and run routes and have that catching radius, it always helps you in the red zone. So it was great to see that work today.
On the subject of tight ends, curious, now Brent's not here, have you seen Zach take more of a leadership role in terms of his role in that room?
Yeah, I mean, Zach's always been a great leader in that room. Obviously, Brent, being the older tight end, sort of took charge of it. But I feel like Zach just continues to grow into that leadership role. He's been there since he's been here. How he prepares, how he goes about it. He's a guy that guys can watch and learn from, no matter what their age on the football team. And, he just continues to grow each and every year naturally. So, yeah, I've definitely seen it, but it's not like he had to change anything. He's always stayed who he is, which is important.
In your career, would you say you've been a better game day player than practice player?
I've always been a gamer. But the thing is, practice is a time where you're like really aggressive. You're going through different things. You're building a database of information to where when you go out on game day, you play and you use all of the information you gathered in practice, all the good things, bad things, all the things in between, and you use it on the practice or on the playing field. So, you could classify that, but it's only I'm gonna come out here every single day and compete.
The thing you said to us, and you wrote it in your book as well, is that you're best when you kind of aren't thinking, just kind of rolling out there. Practice is much more structured. Does that best suit you, or do you think a game best suits you?
You know what? I think they're just too different. I mean, they both go along, and it's just part of the game. You're going to practice. Every player who's ever played the game knows that practice is a time to go out here, be aggressive, get that mindset ready, run the plays. You know, you can never be afraid to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. But it's also, mistakes are something that you really, like, they sit with you, but you can learn a lot from them. So that's why, like, when I come out here, I just want to play aggressive. I want to play, if I make a mistake, I'm going to learn from it, and it sticks with me because I think about it, and I visualize that. And my hope is when I hit the practice field that I will have learned from that, and I won't make that mistake on the game field. But I mean, that's an athlete. That's what we do. That's why we have practice. That's why we don't just sit on the couch and go play. We need to practice. We need to go through this to learn, to grow, to be able to play on game day.
Getting back to the tight ends, when you isolate one of them on one side of the field, like you do with Ertz in the Super Bowl, or we saw with Dallas here, why is that so effective? Why is that so tough for defenses?
I can see y'all's articles are now tight ends this week. That's the theme today. Yeah, I mean, anytime you have a tight end that's a big body that can do a lot of different things and run routes and get matchups, that's a huge advantage. I mean, y'all have seen it all throughout the NFL for years. That's a big part about it, and, you know, we're fortunate to have very talented tight ends that can do a lot of different things. So that's a big advantage for us.
Variation on that theme, though, with tight ends, running backs, wide receivers, have this kind of depth. How is that in the field? Quarterback have this kind of weaponry to have, and depth, those kind of weapons.
Oh, it's great when you're a quarterback and you have all these different weapons to go out here, and you can do all different things. You can show different formations. You know, they can block as well. So it becomes a tough offense to defend against. It's just that's where execution is so important, and being on the same page, and, you know, training camp's so important to just, you know, build that camaraderie and that relationship with one another, to where, you know, from tight ends, you know, they're going to do a bunch of different things that, you know, we're on the same page with all their routes. So that's why we come out here and we have installations every day, and we go out here and run the plays so we can fine tune everything.
Nick, what do you know about Doug's time as a high school coach and kind of how that shaped him? And do you ever have conversations with him about that period in his life?
A little bit, more so my rookie year. Nothing to really, you know, state right now, just because it has been a while. But you know, Doug's someone who, you know, I always say this about him. From the time I was a rookie, when he was my quarterback coach, now he's the same person. He's obviously grown. His responsibility's grown, but, you know, I can definitely, you know, it's pretty cool. And I mean, that starts, you know, even coaching high school ball. You know, when you're a head coach and you're learning, and you have to build that, you know, the DNA of the team, just like here. I mean, it starts top down. You know, you have a head coach like Doug who, you know, he practices what he preaches. You know, that'll resonate with all the guys, and, you know, you want to play for that coach. So Doug is that coach.
How important is it to have that continuity up front, all five guys back from the Super Bowl, and you're adding Jason, who's probably going to go to the Hall of Fame? How important is that for you?
I mean, that is the offense right there. The 5-0 linemen, those are the guys that's how this offense is so successful. They don't get enough credit. You know, Jason Peters will be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, the dude is unbelievable, had an amazing career. You know, we're fortunate to have him back, and he does a great job of really teaching the younger guys his craft. But when you see the O-line, it goes back to and I always preach about relationships. I mean, if you see the guys, you know, how they get along, they're all different personalities, but it just works. And the room is so great. Coach Stoutland's amazing with them. You know, he coaches hard, but he also loves those guys more than anything. And it's something that, you know, when you step in the huddle, you have 100% confidence in everything they do, and that's a special thing.
For you personally, like, how beneficial is it, you know, that you're getting pretty much a lot more snaps, at least, than you did last year in training camp, and even like during the season? I mean, as far as developing rapport with receivers and everything like that.
You know, anytime you get reps, it's great. You're out there playing, you're working on your craft, you're making all the different throws, using all different velocities, different arm angles, working the pocket, building the relationships. I mean, that's this game. I mean, football is not just about scoring points. Like, how do you score points? How do you win? You don't just step on a field and win. I mean, if you could do that, everyone would do this. It's about, you know, relationships, putting your pride to the side, and, like, going in that locker room right now, spending time with the guys in the cold tub, getting to know them as people, practicing with them during training camp when there's a lot of humidity. Going through those dog days of it all. I mean, that's where you build the DNA and the relationships of the team, to where, you know, once the season hits, once preseason hits and you're in a game, like, that's where, like, those relationships and everything, the trust that you gain out here come into effect. So, I mean, it's super valuable playing.
is independent of you, but it clearly affects you. How much are you in the loop in terms of what Carson's going to be doing on a daily basis?
You know, that's not my place to speak about. You know, I'll let Coach and Carson handle those questions. I'm just, you know, I'm here. You guys know I'm always going to support Carson, always going to support Coach. You know, I'm going to go out here every single day, whatever they need of me. I mean, that's my role. Whatever they need of me, I'm going to step in and do it. You know, so it's a great place, but I'll let those guys answer those.
Nick, how's your book doing? What's the latest you've heard?
I have no idea.
What's the latest, Dave?
I have no idea. I mean, you talk to my wife. I talk to her maybe once a day at night before I go to bed. That's about it. This is training camp. It's part of it. You know, I miss my wife and daughter and dog, but don't even get to talk to them. I'm not going to know how my book's doing if I can't even talk to my family. So, you know, this is season time now.
You mentioned Jeff Stoutland. Players say he has this insane recall where he can bring up a play from 1983. Does that ever come up in conversations with you? Have you experienced that with him?
I don't know. I mean, I can't think of anything off the top of the head, but yeah, he does have impressive recall. I think it's more so when you can get him really thinking and like get him to question, which doesn't happen often. So we try to get him every now and then, but he's unbelievable. I mean, just one of the best coaches I've ever seen. The way he handles that room, the way he is at practice. The thing that's most impressed me with Coach Stoutland is from my time when he was here with Chip, just how much as a coach, I mean, he was great then, but just how much he's grown and like his knowledge of the game and how he coaches the guys. I mean, it's something that's really special, and I think you see how the O-line responds to a coach. I mean, you can tell a lot about a coach with how players respond to them on the practice field and on game day, and our O-line responds like crazy because he's once again, special coach to play for.
Nick, in essence, you just said a minute ago, whatever they need me to do, that's my style. Can you make that your motto for the rest of your career?
I mean, that's it. I mean, I've gone through the label. I've talked to you all about the labels. I mean, I've gone through that as a player, where you have to be the starting quarterback. That's what you work for. That's your identity. You don't know anything else. You don't know if you can sit on the bench. We all want to play. Like, that's part of the game. But I think when you just have a mentality like, I love playing with these guys. I want to have relationships on this team, and whatever my team needs of me when I step on the field, I will help them and give it to them. You know, that's my mindset playing the rest, however long I play. If it's 1 more year or 10 more years, whatever it may be, that's what it'll be. And as I say this, it is now storming like crazy.
I'm just asking a Hall of Fame question. Your Philly special uniform is in the Hall of Fame. Your 7 cleats performance, your 7 touchdown performance, those cleats are in the Hall of Fame. Why do you want them there as opposed to hanging your home in California?
Well, I'm going to get them back. I mean, like, let's make that clear. Those will go to my kids. Hall of Fame, if you're listening, those will go to my kids someday. Unless, like, it's something that, you know, they asked of me and the team, and I think that it is a great honor. I think the Hall of Fame is a great honor. You know, it's something that I have a bunch of nieces, I have a daughter, I have a nephew, so for them to, you know, experience that family members, you know, I take a lot of, you know, pride in wearing, you know, the Foles name. I mean, you know, it's something that there's a lot of family members out there that, you know, it's more than that. It represents the team. You know, it represents what this team was able to do, so it was my honor to allow them to have it, but I would love my kids to have those items someday for themselves.
Have you taken them there to see it?
No, my daughter's too young. I'll take her someday.